Hi, I'm Leon from the hills of Perth, and this is my S14. I'm best mates with Andrew from Moto DVD. We were sitting around at my housewarming, slightly inebriated to say the least, and he said, well, you know, I've got so many awesome parts sitting around off my S14. I'd really love to build myself another streeter, but I'm a bit tight on coin. Threw me hand up, said, well, I'll build one, and away we went. And so I rang the local targets that I knew, Banger, Clint Brown, to see if they knew of any floating around. When Clint told me that his old beast, he'd let me have it for the right amount of money and a few agreements on what stays and what goes. Everyone knows Clint always builds good cars, and I'd been around and seen this car, you know, together and being built, and went and had a look and had ticked most of the boxes that you could ever want to buy on a car. You know, everything that I would have put on a car was already on that. Obviously, being mates with Andrew and seeing the way his S14's come together in the last 7 years, you can't help but be influenced by that sort of potential to go out and build yourself something like this.
Spontaneous purchases aren't always the best idea, but in this case, buying an already mechanically modified car from a trusted friend proved a bargain. The TD06 may have been removed, but Leon added heaps of his own flavour to create one of the smoothest yet toughest S14s around. A sort of Panic and Jet 200 love child, if you will. The car was already resprayed in a deep purple with a luxury front lip and side skirts, aero mirrors and an Origin boot lip spoiler. But Leon then added an Origin Type 2 carbon hood and Origin tail lights. Leon also added some new 18 by 9.5 inch plus 20 work XC8s all round. As you can see, the offset and stretch rubber works wonders for the car. Inside those wheels are 300ZX front calipers, DBA rotors, Nismo brake pads and braided lines.
Yeah, well, when it came to my place, it had no wheels on it, so down to trusty old JPC. Nah, mate! For the old works wheels, same place for my cage. I think the combo just really works. We were sitting there thinking, you know, because it had the black TE37s on it when Clint used to drive it before, and it was tough, but it was just race tough straight up. And I thought, well, maybe we can make it go a little bit halfway in between. Like, so, I don't know, the big offset on the works, the carbon on the bonnet, the carbon lip spoiler, the big power bulge, the little essence of being able to see the cage through the front window. Just as a whole, I think it just all ties together well. Yeah, it's just porn style, man. It's my style. There's no nothing, man. I'm not an avid magazine copier or whatever else. I just put it together how I like, and who cares what anyone else thinks.
The interior is another place Leon transformed the look of the car. The dash, centre console and R32 GTR seats have all been re-trimmed in black suede with double white stitching thanks to Platinum in Sydney. Combined with the Origin carbon fibre door trims, suede OMP steering wheel and other carbon accents, the look was inspired by the Lamborghini Gallardo Superleggera. It's no mistake that the Cusco 6-point cage and Greddy gauges are also white to match the stitching. Overall, it's one of the classiest interiors we've seen in a JDM-styled car and is a welcome change to the usual and predictable bride and Defi combo.
Well, I only picked up the car from Clint 2 weeks ago because he works away, so I just had to wait for him to get back. Got it home, thinking to myself, oh, I've got a nice little bit of a time to do it, a nice streeter here. Phone rings, Andrew's on the line. Says, oh, Auto X, big car show, 2 weeks. Your car's going to be on my stand. Sorted out. When we started building the car, Andrew had something organised, like you said, we'll get these parts sorted. So phone calls back and forward, trying to organise a transporter. For about 2 weeks after we started organising it, a big pallet rocked up at Wilkinson Suspension. 2 trips later, it was home. Over the last 7 or 8 days, the car's just been all nights, no sleep, but it's together, and we actually finished tuning last night at about 9 o'clock, and today on the shoot's the first time I've actually driven the car.
The mechanical side of things is what made this car a bargain. The Teen coilovers, Moonface Racing caster rods, Kazama camber arms, IKEA Formula toe arms and subframe bushes alone make this car worth the extra spend over a standard one. But the OS Geek and twin plate clutch and Cusco two-way really seal the deal. But wait, there's still more. Under the hood, the standard SR20 came with plenty of goodies. There's a Power Enterprise turbo, tune length manifold, 3-inch exhaust system and Greddy intercooler with custom piping on the airflow side, controlled by a Greddy Profect B Spec 2 boost controller. And there's a SARD fuel reg, 460cc injectors and a Walbro in-tank pump on the fuel side, all controlled by an Apex Power FC. There's also an enlarged Greddy sump, Koyo radiator and a Greddy oil cooler so the S14 can keep its cool in WA's heat. All Leon had to do was give the engine bay a bit of a tidy up and 300 responsive horsepower was ready to go.
The way it sort of sits now is pretty much the way it'll stay. You know, probably if anything, maybe a bit of motor love, bigger turbo, set of injectors, cams, that sort of thing. So I like it the way it is. It's different. It's pretty much how it is, or how it'll be. Like I said, a bit more power wouldn't go astray, and that's probably the next thing I'll look at. Well, the old number plate saga's always a thing when you got a performance car, isn't it? You don't want to look like a bit of a clown. So plates that are on it now, they belong to Clint's girlfriend Jenna. Not really my cup of tea, but hey, that's everyone to themselves. Just trying to hunt down a few the last couple of weeks. You know, you can't really get plates in 2 weeks, so just throwing a few out there. Fury, Hostile, just a few bits and pieces, and we'll see what we can come up with. Well, it's predominantly just a weekend sort of car. I've got my work ute that I just lap around in during the week. But as you can probably see from the feature, and that I live in the hills, so there's plenty of windy hill climb sort of streets. So predominantly a weekender, but I wouldn't be surprised if I see some hill climb events and a little bit of track time.